Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to show you my personal and quickest way to get a lot of charm and a lot of roguery in a very little time in Bannerlord, which is, surprisingly little time. And then how to use that charm and that roguery to make more gold to kickstart your kingdom. So the first thing to keep in mind is how does leveling works in this game. Now, remember, you need some focus points and you need some attributes in order to level a skill to a specific level. And don't get sidetracked by this, because this one is your learning limit. Now it's worded poorly in my opinion, but that is as far you can get by having this learning rate, which is the maximum possible learning rate, and this learning rate depends on your focuses and your attributes. So the more points you have in these, the bigger that bonus is going to be. So every time we get one charm point, instead we get 12.5 times that many. Keep that in mind. And 10 and 5 is enough to get to the maximum level of skill, which in this game currently is 330. As soon as we go above 240 though, the learning rate is gonna diminish up until a point where it's gonna reach 0 and we can't level anymore. But this is enough to get well over Immortal Charm. That's the first thing we need to consider. Now when it comes to early game, don't go full 10, go for an 8. That's my suggestion. Go for an 8, and if you are happy with your build and everything else, then bump it all the way up to 10. Why? Because social is just an extremely good skill, not only for charm but also for leadership. It's gonna come very handy later when you have your kingdom and you start doing stuff. But let's talk about the real thing, how to get charm. So we're gonna getting this charm by doing prison breaks. Now one thing that many people don't realize, and I haven't realized this until 1.7 honestly, is that there is a very smart way to figure out where people are without opening the encyclopedia and checking every single lord, or going to a town and checking if they have prisoners and so on. All you need to do is a faction that is at war with another faction and being at least clan tier 1. That's all you need to know. And now we go to Maruna Finir, we go to the keep. Generally you need to bribe your way in. And now we talk to Besag and we ask her to join as a mercenary. Then we can leave the town, and this thing pops up now, right? Now we can use the kingdom. Now we can see the diplomacy. We have no power, we are a mercenary, all we do is fighting. But if we go to the diplomacy tab, we can see this. We can see where all of the prisoners from both sides have been taken and are currently held. So in this case, Lucan is in Carbanshire. The Vrandians haven't taken any prisoners, and the only prisoner Batania has is Lucan. So now that we know this, we can go all the way to Carbanshire, release our mercenary contract, and by the way, if you happen to have some shops, what I suggest to do is just leave immediately as soon as you know where people are. You can leave immediately without losing any relationship or anything. The only thing you're losing is that daily gold you are receiving by being a mercenary. But we can go all the way to Carbanshire, we can go to the keep, we can bribe our way in, we go to the dungeon, and actually there is a second prisoner now. There is Adalindis. So we can stage a prison break. And now, one thing you noticed about prison breaks is that they require you to spend money. Not only for bribing your way in, but also for, bribing somebody to get you in the prison in order to free them. So this method is not a money gain, but we are gonna see later how you can gain money after using this method. And one thing to keep in mind is you need to have a decent bank, so you need to trade a little, you need to be a mercenary for a while, selling some loot, some prisoners, we take some quests and so on. You need to have some gold in order to do this. But now I'm gonna be freeing Adalyn this year because she's less expensive, and my gear I'm gonna be using for these prison breaks is a Batania Mountain Sword, So Battania Mountain Blade, this one is able to be used as a civilian weapon, which is what you need, is what matters in your prison breaks, is your civilian equipment. And this one doesn't spawn immediately in the game, you generally find this one a little bit later. But if you don't happen to find this one, there are other ways you can get weapons. You know, the first one is you can smith one. Very simple. If you happen to be into smithing and you know you are already smithing on your own character, you can simply get yourself a weapon that way, or you can just get maybe an iron broadsword. There it is. So this one is the iron broadsword. Is around, I think, no more than 10,000 gold when you go and buy it. It's worse under every single aspect in comparison to the Battania Mountain Blade, but it's gonna be pretty effective for your prison breaks. Of course, you can even use throwing knives or throwing daggers if you'd like to. For this one, I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna use a thick brigandine. This armor is about, I believe, 8,000 gold or so on, and you can find it pretty easily in Imperial towns. It's the best civilian body armor that I think you can get, with 34 body. And of course, if you want to get helmets and so on, you can even get them. But I'm not gonna use them. So there she is. First thing we're gonna tell her is to stay put. And now we got to fight some people. We have Battanian Horsemen in there. And keep that in mind, my character has currently no athletics and absolutely no skill in the weapon. So that's why I am basically doing no damage. But yeah, I'm gonna be quickly finishing them off. I might speed this part up. Alright, I think we're done. Now, one simple trick that you can figure out if there are like more people or not in a prison break is pressing the tab key. If you press the tab key, if you keep it pressed, and it says leaving, that means there is nobody else. But keep in mind, roguery points are awarded the fastest you are. So keep that in mind, you don't want to wait too much. But there you go, this is our first prison break done. We gain ourselves a level, and that is all the way up 50 levels to 70 already. There it is, and that was just one prison break. And now that you know, like, the fastest way possible to get prison breaks by just being a mercenary for a faction that is at war, figuring out the places where they keep people locked up, and you can very easily get yourself some prison breaks one after another, liberating everyone, and in less than a year, I tell you, in less than a year, you're gonna get yourself the Immortal Charm perk. And now it's for the little trick at the end. Alright, and here we are, guys. I simply used the cheat mode to give me some more charm. That's very simple what I did. Pick some perks at random, but the important one is that one. Is Immortal Charm. Every 5 point above 250, we get 1 influence for free. Currently, we are receiving 10 influence every day. Now, all you need to do, once you got yourself this max charm, right? And you got yourself already maybe artisan community, you know, you've traded some, you go artisan community. We need to simply go and speak to another lord, talk to them, join as a mercenary, you know, find yourself a good contract of around, let's say, 250 or more, and now you just simply wait in the town, and every single day you have to not move a single finger, and you are gonna get paid. There we are, guys. Now we are actually using all of our charm that we gain every day, and it's getting paid. It's getting paid for. We're receiving money for it. Now our contract is pretty small. It's only 140. But there you go. We are receiving 1,400 dinars every single day. So we are kind of getting paid back what we spend to get to this level of charm and doing prison breaks. And also, on the other positive is, if you invested a little bit in your roguery, you will be receiving the extra battle loot from the skill every time you win a fight. So together, they do make quite a good chunk of gold, and charm is not only useful to get paid as a mercenary. When you create your kingdom, the ability of making charm passively, I mean of making influence passively, is a big deal. It's a very big deal. But you know, when you think about this contract is pretty small. It's only 140, and you can easily find contracts of around 300 and so on later in the game. So you can get paid 3,000 every day. Now remember, the AI has a bank system, so if they have no money in the bank, you're gonna be receiving less than what you should, despite you selling all of the influence. And another thing to keep in mind is the more money you are receiving, you know, the less financially stable they're going to be. So if you want them to keep paying you, you need to have them fighting and actually conquering a little bit so they can be financially stable and you can make even more money. But there you go, guys. That is the best way to get yourself a bunch of prison breaks very quickly and get yourself charm and roguery together. And it's a very, very good trick that I've been using since 1.7. Doing this trick, I have achieved my fastest speedrun of the game, which is taking over the entirety of the map in just 15 years. The victory was Winter 1 1099, which is surprisingly fast. I was aiming for 25, ended up doing 15. So you can see how impactful that could be on an early game. And yeah, all you need to do is just gathering some gold. There it is. And then you're free to do all of the prison breaks you need. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hope you found it very useful. Let me know what you want to see next. And bye-bye.